So hello guys, this is Mariusz Monczak and Tips on Violin Playing for all artists. And today, etude number 7 by Kreutzer. And I'd like to today focus on something that I have already mentioned before, but this is something that I want to point out again. So what's the purpose of playing those etudes? Why, in a way, we are saving time and doing ourselves and the music a favor and the public at the end. So what is actually happening with these etudes, that we are working on certain techniques that are used then in the pieces, and Kreutzer has this power of working really around, like really into details on certain basic techniques or more sophisticated ones that you can actually find in any piece of music. And I just want to show you something that, for example, I played today Fantasia by Johann Sebastian Bach, a Menuette. This is like an arrangement from other pieces, not for violin written, but originally. And I'm just telling you that because I have this technique work on etude number 7, this crossing strings and kind of well-balanced bow, I was able to learn this piece very fast and kind of with no kind of learning, just learning the notes, but the technique was there. I knew how to approach this. Kind of my body, my nervous system, my muscles, my joints, and this gravitation, inertia, and everything kind of work together in the purpose of making music by making Bach. I was not kind of confronted with this technique, just jumping on the Bach and oh my gosh, how I'm gonna play this. And as I mentioned before, but this is I need to repeat myself, is that if you have a certain technique and you first time you arrive at the piece of music already and you want to work on this and you don't know what to do about it, and of course it takes time and the quality suffers, especially the quality of the performance, of the violin performance. I mean, the during the concert, because you made let's say an etude or an exercise out of let's say a piece of art, let's say a music written not for these purposes, but for the purpose of conveying emotions, for some other means. Especially let's say 90% of all composers are not violinists, right? So they have more or less knowledge about violin, but not that deep, let's say, how violinists have it, because we are with this instrument 24/7 sometimes, so, and then for decades, so we know exactly what works, what doesn't work, and certain composers have no idea, just they especially in the piano or something, and they say okay, sounds great, and then you can do it, and then we are stuck with some difficulties that we have never seen before. But this is something that we have to work at home, and the public doesn't want to know about this because they are not interested in that. They don't go to. I never go to a concert to see a pianist or a violinist or other musician saying, "Oh, my technique is so brilliant. Look at my technique." I don't care about technique in a way. I want to listen to music, right? The technique is just a means to achieve some goals, other than just technique by itself. But look, when you have this number 7 and we have this crossing of the strings, crossing strings. But look now in this Fantasia by Johann Sebastian Bach. I played this today the first time. So look. So you see, well, of course, hopefully with the practice I'm gonna play better this, right? But you see, this technique, it was here. So this one, I have here. Sorry. So I have to just learn the notes, right? I have this is A flat, no A natural. You can actually tell I don't know the piece well because I even look at I thought it was A natural because A natural is more natural than A flat. But here there are three flats. So what I need, it's just E flat. You see, and then again we have this problem with changing the one note D, D, F, E flat, D, and then one is stay. So I go. I play more on this and less on this one. The same thing like here. What we have. So we have a G, and we don't have to bang this G. We don't need that. So we need this. So you see, Kreutzer actually, maybe he knew this this piece or some other pieces, especially from the Italians. So here in the Bach, and I have here. So I made this point, that it is important to work on these etudes, and it actually takes really long time to make this like ingredient in your body. This also etude number 7 is very good for one exercise, and I have invented a way of kind of working on something that is kind of generally everybody does it, and it's the biggest mistake everybody does, and especially when people are tense on the stage. Look at any, let's say, big stars on video or live. Me, I'm not a big star, but I mean, it's when I play quite often on stage. I do this again. So this is about going up with the shoulder here, especially on the right side. So we're going up because we are scared. You want to do it alone, so we're going up with this. And somehow, we think it's kind of helping us, but it's the opposite. Actually, it's destroying the sound and makes more tense, especially the left technique, and it's not so good. So this etude is actually excellent for watching the shoulder, because when the shoulder kind of is down, does not move, you can feel it more, the strings. So if I go up with my shoulder, in a way it's kind of easier, but I don't have a good sound. I'm kind of go there. So it's always this gravity, keeping everything kind of falling down, and then you feel it what's happening. So when you have this, so you can feel it. And then my invention is this: you take anything that is kind of suitable, and it's not so you put it on your shoulder, and then you can play. Of course, it's ideal if somebody can put a hand, like this on your shoulder and keep it like this, that you would not go up. But but if nobody's around, you can actually use this. Not for long, also not too much, yeah. But this is something that it's kind of useful to keep this. Because what happens, actually, you feel it. This is not that heavy. Let's say 1 kilo, 2 kilo. So it's not that heavy. But at the same time, it's you feel it's something different, and it kind of reminds you to have it to keep it down. And I should maybe do this more often, because this is something that it's not so good to feel it. Now I was watching also my yesterday's video, and I saw it that my bow it's kind of going too much like this. So this is also, I have to watch out, to not to do it like this, but more on the one, the sounding point, really watching the sounding point of the bow. So when I go, so this round motion actually also creates sometimes this, bubbling, wiggling. This my bow is kind of like that, especially when I play lots of new pieces, and nowadays I have to learn lots of new pieces because I'm playing like at 35 minutes every day a concert on Facebook during pandemic, to cheer up my friends and my family, especially my mom in Montreal. So the thing is that when you're playing a lot of new pieces and kind of we're preoccupied with the text, then technique is kind of it's starting to go loose. I mean, starting to go in other directions. So what I want to point out is that we have to observe ourselves, and sometimes it's very useful to record yourself on video or audio, and look maybe with your friends, maybe with your teacher, with your family, maybe yourself to send to somebody, and just to see how it goes. Because when you're watching or listening to your own playing, you're actually listening to almost like another person, like not you. And then problem is that it's never that you see so many mistakes you should, I mean, or you kind of, it's always kind of shocking at the beginning that, oh my gosh, I'm playing that bad. But don't worry about this. I mean, you have to be strong, and you have to kind of work on have to know yourself. That's the key. Your strengths and your new weaknesses, and go with your strengths and then kind of hide your weaknesses or work on the weaknesses as well. So what I'm trying to say here is that when I did like this with my bow, I didn't recognize this like immediately, only when I was watching the video. So there's those videos, it's actually quite useful to see yourself in action, because then you can see how behave, almost like anything, like how you behave on stage, what's your body language, are you tense or you moving too much or too little, or I mean anything, it's up to you what you can see. But it's use the technology to improve your own playing. It is painful sometimes, but self depreciation is not good. But you need to know where you are, because if you want to go from the point A to B, you have to know exactly where you are, and when where you're getting to, what's the destination is, and what's the what's the aim for, what you're aiming for. But you have to know exactly where we are. And usually we are kind of let's say 95% of time we think we're playing better than we actually do, which is our brain is kind of saying that we are not so bad, that to be cheerful and everything is fine. But what's important actually to see what needs to be improved, and how to improve it, that's another story, right? So just a few things. It is important to work on Kreutzer, because those techniques you can see in any music, and I showed you today Bach. You can put something on your shoulder to keep it back, keep it down, and also play music, even if you play etudes, but find something that is interesting for you. So thank you much for watching. Goodbye, be safe, practice, and see you next time. Bye bye.